welcome back to my YouTube channel. Miss Lark Bahar here. If you watched my latest YouTube tutorial, then you'll know that I showed how to put this wet set in for the classic 1950s Elizabeth Taylor inspired hairdo that is my personal go-to. If you didn't catch it, I'll go ahead and link it below. But if you did and you've tried it out, you should be at the same stage that I am, where you've slept on your hair overnight, and when you feel it all around, it's completely dry. Now this is crucial. Be sure your hair is dry before you take it out, because if it's not, it's going to fall out and be limp and not give you your exact desired effect. But if you're where I am now, hair is dry and you're all set, then go ahead and grab your tools and get ready to go. There are a few basic supplies you're going to need for this hairdo. Nothing special, just the basics that you probably already have. First of all, bobby pins, of course. You should have plenty in your hair from your wet set already, but just be sure you have them on hand. Of course, some sort of a brush to brush out your set. I like this vintage one because it's not as soft as the boar bristle brushes we see nowadays, so it still penetrates the hair while still getting that soft effect, but a normal brush will do. And then some sort of teasing utensil. I use both a teasing brush because I prefer the way this teases hair, and a teasing comb because I like that I use it to smooth the crown of my hair. And for styling products, you'll need some sort of a hairspray. I use Kenra's hairsprays, and if you use pomade, you can use that instead, of course. And then sometimes, depending on how the set came out, I like to use Kenra's shine spray as well, if that'll focus. Helps just give it a nice sheen at the end. So if you have all those things, take a seat and let's get started. First things first, take out all of the hairpins, of course.
Baby, I need you. Be my girl. To hug you and squeeze you. Be my girl. I wanna do things for you. How I need you. Be my girl. Oh. You're driving me crazy. Be my girl. Your kisses just thrill me. Be my girl. I want you to love me. How I need you. Be my girl.
Back to the front.
Somebody new every day, and with me I wanna be here to stay.
Alright, so when you're done taking it all out, you should have sort of a diamond shape with your hair if you have the Baby Middy like I do, or some other short kind of a haircut. I personally like to leave these top standing pin curls until the very end to brush out, which is the same with every single set I do, all lengths of hair. I just find, because that part's going to get all the teasing and all those details, so I just save it for later and work on the rest, which is just going to get a basic brush out. So now that your hair is all out, and you'll see that the curls aren't quite as ringlety as longer hair. It's just gonna, it looks a bit dorkier, but you can already see the basic shape that it's going to take hold. You won't feel beautiful at this stage, but it's coming, so don't worry about it. So pick up whatever brush you have and don't worry about breaking the curl. You're just going to go through, brush through the very top, and turn the brush in this motion away from the head, which is going to create that sort of 50s, 60s, early 60s flip that I personally like to go for. When I first brush out my set, it tends to be a bit tighter. I actually prefer the set day 2 and 3 because the curl actually does this, whereas at the beginning it tends to loop around quite a bit, just because my hair is so curly and strong naturally. It really takes to the curl well. But if you have that problem, another technique is to just, after you flip it around a bit, brush it flat, straight down with less of a swoop at the bottom, and that'll kind of help brush out the curl just a little bit. But I only suggest that if you have very tight, coarse, curly hair like mine. So go ahead and get started with the brushing. And you'll see just from that how much it flips out.
I love you so madly. I need you so badly. I'll hang around gladly. Come on, be my girl.
So after that top layer is down, and I've sort of vaguely brushed it into place with that flip, I'll do the bottom part, which I do by reaching under the hair and brushing up. I'll keep my hand in place on the crown and then brush up and around it. That way it puts it around my hair as if there was a curl to build around it. So I'll go ahead and show you from the back again. Now when you turn around, those pieces should be relatively joined with the top layer that you brushed out first. If not, don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and join it and tease it a little bit at the very end so that we can get it nice and combined with no stragglers. Now the trickiest parts are actually going to be the sides of the hair. So let me get situated a bit lower so you can see the top as well. You'll see these are kind of hanging, unsure where to go exactly, what's happening. So just don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it. And now that those are all taken out, you can go ahead and take out the standing pin curls left on the top of your head. You'll see that there is a huge difference between the standing pin curls and the flat pin curls when it comes out. The volume is intense comparatively, but don't worry, again, it'll be tamed down very easily. So the front part of the hair is the only part of my hair that I tease for volume. I'll tease the rest of it to combine the layers at the bottom and join it all, but this is the only thing that's going to be teased. This back part is just going to lay flat still. So take your brush again and just start smoothing it down. And it's going to be using the same motion as before. So you're going to go up, go down, sorry, and then flip. And you'll see that that gets the right shape, but it adds the tiniest bit of extra oomph up here so that it's not as flat as the rest of the hair, and you can join the volumized bang into it once you style it. So for the bang, since I want to end up with a swoop like this, with the short strand actually turning into a curl that ends right in the middle of my forehead, like that, I'm going to start by brushing it back. And if you wanted to do a 30s set with this, the bang would be brushed back and it would look more authentically 30s. Okay. So now that that's brushed back, you'll see all the volumes still kind of there at the top, and if you feel it, it's going to be a lot denser and thicker because we did those standing curls, and then this part's still not brushed out. So this, you're going to slide your hand in and you're going to brush around your hand. And as you get lower in the bang, start to flip to join it into the rest of the hair. Once you have that general shape, it's a matter of going in with your fingers, shaping it, hairspraying it, and teasing it into place if need be. So, since I have my general shape in, I'll go ahead and go right here, pull it up, get my hairspray, tease at the roots, and then tease for the volume, just so that I'm sure that that volume stays throughout the day and I can get a nice smooth look. And I'm not going for a huge bang here, so I'm not teasing as much as I would with if my bangs were a lot longer and my hair was longer in general and I needed that big volume, but I don't for this. So it's just a bit of light teasing, hairspray again once you've teased it, and let it sit for a moment while you're waiting for that shape, and then work on this side right here. So this side is another one that actually looks better day 2 because I tend to set it so that this curl comes here and frames the face, but the curl is going to be too strong on day 1. So I'm sure you saw me brushing it back when I was originally brushing it out. That's because if I get this part of the hair going behind me, which is the direction that the pin curls were set, then it's going to set me up for the rest of the week after the first day for this to swoop around nicely and neatly. But for now, it's just brushed back. And then oftentimes I pin it in place as well. So by now the bangs should be dry. Go ahead and brush them out in the same way that you brushed them when you were first getting the general curl, and then against the hand to reshape it. Okay, now it should be nice and solid. So I'm going to take this curl right here and guide it into that little circle that I love. And then the rest of the hair, I use my hands, your hands are your best friend, to join into the flip I have going for the rest of it. I take this comb and go through and flatten the hair after that. There we go. So now it's a matter of finishing off the bottoms and just cleaning it up overall. Very first step is just like I showed you in the side here a moment ago. Hairspray the crown of your head all the way around. And then take your comb again and comb it to the point where your hair starts to flip out so that your hair is nice and flat. And this is another stage of the step where if you sort of comb that flip in a down direction, like this, instead of flipping it, it'll help tame that strong curl you'll have at the beginning if you have curly hair like mine. Now, to join the little bottom strands, what I like to do is take my comb and hairspray and spray it on the comb. And then I go up from the bottom and comb around.
With you, it's somebody new every day. And with me, I wanna be here to stay. Well, I love you so madly. I need you so badly. I'll hang around gladly.
Now you should have a nice little flip with the dropped crown where it's flat and frizz-free. And now that the bangs settled a bit, I always wait a bit and then go back in. If I can find my hairspray. And then, since I'm nearing the end of the styling, spray the bang. And be sure there's plenty of product at the end of that curl so it stays in place. And then if I know it needs a little extra help, you can take either a hairpin or a little clip like this one that I have and pin the bang area together like that. In the meantime, if you feel like you need to, you can go ahead and work on this side a little bit more, but I always just leave it to do whatever it wants to do at the beginning of the set. So there you have it, a nice little Elizabeth Taylor 50s little flip hairdo. As I've mentioned before, this set will look better as the week goes on, which in my book is always a huge positive. Yeah, and the brush out process is exactly the same. The only difference is here you would just guide it forward excuse me, instead of pushing it back into the rest of the hair. So you can just respray the crown, comb it down flat again, make sure there are no frizzies, make sure the flip's in place, make sure all of the layers are joined in the back, make sure this iconic little curl right there is in place, and you'll be good to go. So thank you for joining me for the wet set video and for the pin curl set video. I would love to hear if there are any hairdos that you're interested in seeing. Shoot them my way, of course, and I'd be happy to try it out. And thank you for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, and go ahead and follow me at my blog at misslarkbahar.com and on my Instagram, also Miss Lark Bahar, and my Facebook, Miss Lark Bahar. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.
Be my girl.
Be my girl.